Hello and Assalamualaikum everyone. We are from University Science Malaysia and we are super excited to be here with all of you today. Today we are going to talk something that affect a lot of teenager and maybe some of you. But don't worry, this is not going to be a boring talk. We will keep it fun, real and useful. So we will talk about risky behavior among adolescents. Alright, without further ado, let me introduce my group member who will be guiding you through today's important topic, which is Danny Iskandar, Fakiha, Alia Masara, and Sabrina Shanini. Before we start, let me start by asking you a few quick questions. Have you ever stayed up until 2 a.m. just scrolling a TikTok or skip meal just to playing game or rush for assignment? Or maybe seen someone getting bullied online or in school? If you say yes to any of those, congratulations, you have already seen or experienced this behavior. So, what is risk behavior? It's any action that may seem normal or fun at first, but it can actually harm your body, mind, or future. For example, vaping or smoking, skipping meal or eating too much fast food, excessive screen time, bullying or being bullied, and having unprotected sex. This behavior might seem harmless now, but they can lead to serious problems later on, like stress, health issue, poor grade, or even depression. So, why are we sharing this talk with all of you? This is because when you're teenager age, you start to make your own choice, and every small choice that you make, from what you eat to what you post online, can shape your future. So, let me share a few real statistics from Malaysia. Around 14.9% of teens are now use e-cigarette, and over 150,000 had sex, and many of them is before age 14. And the last one is cyberbullying is getting worse every year. And these are not just number. They are story of teen who may be struggling, confused, or pressured by others. So, what we will be talking about today, we will going to guide you through the main type of risk behavior that common among teenagers. We will start with that risky sexual behavior look like and how it can affect your health and future. Then we will talk about violence and bullying and how to deal with it if it happened to you or someone you care about. Next, we will talk about screen addiction and how too much time online can affect your body, sleep, and school performance. And finally, we also explore unhealthy eating habits which are more common than you think. So we are here not to judge or lecture you. We just want to give you the knowledge to protect yourself, your health, and your future. So, are you ready to be smarter, stronger, and make a choice that lead to success? Okay, let's begin.
Alright, thanks to my friends just now. My name is Sabrina. Now, adik-adik, let's talk about something a little sensitive but super important, especially for teenagers like us, risky sexual behavior. Don't worry, we are not here to scold anyone. We just want to help you understand how to make safe, smart choices because this is something that can really affect your health, your future, and your happiness. So, what exactly is risky sexual behavior? It's when someone gets involved in sexual activities at a very young age without using protection like condoms or with multiple partners. You might see it on social media or in shows and think it's normal or cool. But the truth is, it can seriously harm your body, your emotions, and your future. It can also lead to serious consequences like getting a sexual transmitted infection or having an unplanned pregnancy. Things that can really change a teenager's life, especially when we are still learning and growing. Now, let's look at what's really going on in our country. According to the National Health and Morbidity Survey (NHMS 2022) by the Ministry of Health of Malaysia, in Malaysia, more than 150,000 teenagers aged 13 to 17 have reported having sex. 33% had their first time before they turned 14, and 88% of them did not use any protection. In Sarawak alone, there were over 2,000 teenage pregnancy just in a year. Most of them were 16 and above, and sadly, around 59% had already dropped out of school. This isn't just something that happens to other people. It can happen to your classmates, your friends, even someone in your family. Adik-adik, risky sex is just not about getting into trouble. It can seriously affect your life. You could get sexually transmitted infections like HIV or HPV. You could face an unplanned pregnancy when you are not even ready to take care of yourself yet. You might feel sad, guilty, or confused, and some teens even fall into depression. It can make it hard to focus in school or even lead to dropping out. It can also damage your relationships with your family, your friends, and even how you see yourself. So, it's just not physical. It affects your emotions, your studies, and your social life too. But don't worry, the good news is you actually have the power to protect yourself. First, learn about your body and emotions, but make sure it's from trusted sources, not just random TikToks or gossips. Next, don't be afraid to say no if something doesn't feel right. You don't owe anyone or anything that makes you uncomfortable. Surround yourself with friends who respect your boundaries and make you feel safe. Stay active with things that make you happy, such as sports, music, your clubs, and your goals for the future. And please, if you are ever confused and feel pressured, talk to someone you trust. Maybe your teacher, counselor, or even abang dan kakak macam kami. Being in control of your choices doesn't mean you are boring or not cool. It actually means you are brave, smart, and taking charge of your future.
Now, let's talk about another risky behavior that a lot of us see or hear about, sometimes every day: violence and bullying. So, let me ask you all, have you ever seen someone being picked on, maybe in the corridor or maybe online? Or maybe you have heard stories about fights breaking out after school. Don't worry, you don't have to answer it out loud, but I think most of us know these things happen. When we talk about bullying, it's not just about someone getting pushed or hit. Bullying comes in many different forms. There are obvious physical bullying, like hitting, kicking, or even just shoving someone around. But there's also verbal bullying, like making fun of someone, calling them names, or spreading rumors. Then there's social bullying, where someone is purposely left out of a group or people spread gossip to ruin their reputation. And of course, there's cyberbullying, which is becoming more and more common, which are sending hurtful messages, embarrassing photos, or mean comments on social media. You might think, well, it's just a joke or it's not that serious, but let's take a look of some real cases right here in Malaysia. For example, in Penang, there was a heartbreaking case of teen Nevin, an 18 years old who lost his life after being brutally attacked by his schoolmate. This case shocked the nation on how serious bullying can get. More recently, in Subang Jaya, police investigated the bullying of a Form 2 student at a local school, highlighting that bullying is still very much a problem today. And in Sabah, a student at a vocational college in Lahad Datu died following an alleged bullying incident at the hostel. These stories aren't just headlines. They are reminders that bullying and violence can have a very real and very serious consequences. And it's not just physical. Cyberbullying is on the rise too. Sometimes it starts with just one mean comment or a humiliating photo, but it can lead to anxiety, depression, and in some cases even suicide. The scars from bullying aren't always visible, but they can last a lifetime. So, why does bullying happen? Sometimes it's about wanting to feel powerful or trying to fit with a certain group. Maybe someone is dealing with their own problems at home and takes it out on others. Or maybe it is just peer pressure when everyone else is doing it, so you join doing it, even if you know it's wrong. Social media makes it easier to bully someone without having to face them in real life. But here's the thing, the consequences are very serious. For victims, bullying can lead to anxiety, depression, trouble sleeping, and even suicidal thoughts. It can make someone feel like they don't want to come to school or that they don't belong anywhere. But it's not just the victims who suffer. Bullies themselves are more likely to get in trouble with the law, have problems with relationships, and struggle with anger issues later in life. And the whole school community is also affected. When bullying is common, everyone feels less safe. So, what can we do about it? First, speak up. If you see someone being bullied, don't just stand by. You don't have to confront the bully directly, but tell a teacher, a counselor, or any trusted adults. There are even programs in Malaysia like Stand Together that encourage students to support each other and take stand against bullying. Second, include people who seems left out. Be kind. Sometimes just saying hi or inviting someone to join your group can make a huge difference. And if you are ever tempted to post something mean online, ask yourself, will I say this to their face? If it's not, maybe it's better not to post it at all. And finally, learn to handle your emotions in a healthy way. If you are angry or upset, talk to someone, play sports, or write it down. Hurting others is never the answer. Remember guys, each of us has the power to make our school a safer and a kinder space. It starts with small actions, standing up for each other, spreading kindness, and refusing to be part of the problem. So, let's be the generation that say enough is enough. Let's look out for each other both in school and online, and make sure everyone feels safe and respected. And with that, I'll hand over things to Danny, who's going to talk about another important topic that affects our health and happiness. Thank you for listening.
So the next point is excessive screen time. What is screen time? Screen time means the hours we spend in front of device, phone, tablets, computers or TVs. But for the social media, it can be from streaming, gaming or learning. While screen help us stay connected and informed, overusing them, especially more than 6 to 8 hours daily can be harmful actually, especially in the teenagers nowadays. Hi Daddy, do you know that according to the data reporter, which is from the Viral Electronic Hubs, or we identify it from the article in the Google especially, right? Malaysian actually spend time 8 hours 17 minutes daily on screen, which is our Malaysia has to be the second highest in the Asia in our screen time. Yeah, and also if you want adik-adik to know that a study has been done in the Selangor found that 91.4% of children under 5 has exceeded the WHO screen time guidelines, which is the median of watching screen of 3 hours per day, and it was alarming cases actually in our Malaysia right now. all of you guys, little sister and brothers, must think that what is the consequences or the aspect of screen time. Like, I don't think there's many, but actually there are so many here, adik-adik. Which is first is the physical. It affect your eyes because our eyes will be strained, dry, and also our posture will be poor because of our neck and back pain. And high screen time is linked to inactivity and obesity because we are lacking in moving when we are using our phone. And the second is the consequences is if you guys have the high of screen time, our mental will interrupt, especially during our sleep because of the blue lights exposure, and it will lead to you will have a higher anxiety, stress, and even sign of depression linked to heavy social media use. Maybe you are having some kind of um uh comparison between you and the non-reality in the media social, because you know that in the media social itself they show all the things that happy, all the things that you don't really have, and you will have that kind of interrupting in your mental health. And the third is academic, especially that screen time when you are playing a lot of fun your academy, you will have a difficulty concentrating, lower grades, you will have a procrastination when you are want to doing your homework, you want to play phone instead, and also incomplete assignments due to distractions. And lastly, the consequences is your social, once you are using your phone a lot, you will have a less face-to-face interaction between your friends or even the people that you can meet, and it can weaken your communication skills because you are not using your mouth. Okay, you will feel loneliness because you are very isolated, and also it will reduce your self-esteem. I will tell you about how we can prevent and live healthier besides all the high amount of screen time. Okay, so let's go with me. First point is you can set your screen limits, which is like you can restrict leisure screen time to only 1 to 2 hours per day. Okay, because of the WHO only advise you to no more than 1 hour, especially if you are young kids, because you are still in development. And then the second tips is I can give to you is to practice screen breaks, which is 20-20 rule. Like every 20 minutes when you are using your phone, you can look at something 20 feet away for at least 20 seconds to relax your eyes, because if you learn biology or science, we know that your eyes are contraction when you are looking at the screen, because screen mengeluarkan, or I mean they are giving you lights, so your eyes will contract, especially your eyes. Yeah. And the third is you will also besides of using a lot of phone, you can choose to be at least be physically active. Like you can spend 30 minutes or more daily doing some fun outdoor activities like sports or walking to keep your body fit. Like me, if you have a cats or any kind of pets, you can walk them in the street, or you can go out with your friends instead of just playing phone. Okay, you also can structure your day, like designate clear time for study, for your screen, for your meals, and also for your sleep. So when you are stick to that, you can stick to your regular sleep hours to sleep, to avoid your late night device use. Okay, like when at the 10 o'clock at the 10 p.m. o'clock, you must close your phone and start to sleep, because you got class for tomorrow, so you can concentrate. Okay. And the fourth is like your family involvement, which is this is for the parents. Your parents can set clear screen rules together and model good habits by switching off device during family time, especially when you are eating or you are having some kind of trips together. Like use that time to appreciate with your family instead of playing your phone a lot. Okay. And five, I think, is use your tech to manage tech. I mean your technology, because In my undergraduate self, I also use Pomodoro apps to control my behavior when I'm using my iPhone. Use app timers or parental control to limit screen usage. Helpful for study, hours for our bedtime. And lastly is choose positive content. I mean, if you really like to play social media, I encourage you to watch out or look into a positive content such as that can educate or promotes your mental health or your study or academy rather than just entertainment. So the next risky behavior among teenagers or adolescents that can give risk, which is unhealthy eating habits. Do you guys know what is unhealthy eating habits? Yes, true. Unhealthy eating habits involve consuming too much fast food, sugary drinks, processed snacks, skimpy meals, and not eating enough fruit or veggies. This trend is common among Malaysian teens, especially because fueled by busy life, advertising, and also easy access to the cheap junk food, especially like the restaurant or the cafes. Do you guys know that actually, according to the NHS 2022, they discovered that 1 in 3 Malaysian teen from age 13 to 17, which is from of you guys from the secondary school, are overweight and obese. Yeah, like because of the around 80% are physically inactive, 80% don't eat enough fruits or vegetables, and also 33% drink soft drinks daily, and 10% eat fast food 3 or more times per week. And it was a very alarming cases in Malaysia right now. Okay, students? So what is the consequences when you are eating unhealthy habits? Okay, students, the first is physical. You will have a overweight or obesity or the poor nutrition intake, risk of diabetes and heart problems. Second is your mental. Teen with unhealthy diets have high rates of depression. 39% of fast food frequenters and 32% of daily soda drinkers report depressive symptom. Okay, and then your academic, because of the poor nutrition, you will have a lower energy and focus, and also higher absenteeism, and also skipping breakfast is linked to worse concentration in class. And last but not least is your social. You have a weight issues and low esteem that can lead to a social withdrawal, body image concern, and also disordered eating behaviors. So you guys must think like how to prevent so we can live healthier. Don't worry, I am one of the future dietitian. I will help you in these cases. So the first is make sure you are following the suku separuh or the balanced meal that has been created by the KKM, our Kementerian Kesihatan Malaysia, like the suku separuh, because it have a well balance where you eat. Suku is from the protein, and suku is one of the carbohydrate, and half is a fruit and vegetable, because we are focusing more on the vegetable and fruit itself. Okay, second is you have to avoid meal skipping. Why? Because when you eat breakfast daily, you can focus in your class and you will have energy. Okay, and because of the study has shown that 72% of teens actually skip it. I know it's hard, but you can try to learn how to bring your breakfast in a healthy way. Try to limit fast food and sodas, because you know that reduce fast food to occasional and swap sodas to what is better option, because soda is high in sugar and many kind of other sweeteners and drink. You can aim 2 fruit servings and also 3 vegetable servings daily, because it can achieve a adequate of fiber intake. Okay, and the fourth is healthy snacking, where you can replace chips and sugary snacks with fruits, nuts, or yogurts. Okay, it's a good alternative because it's high It's low in calorie but high dense in nutrients. And the five is family and school role, which is where your parents can help you in prepare balanced meals and set positive examples, because schools should offer healthy canteens options. 86% of students actually said that their snacks came from their homes. Okay, and you can try to have a good deal with your family to have a good meal. Okay, and last but not least is to stay active, where you combine healthy eating with regular activity, physical activity. Just spend time your daily life. 30 minutes only can make a big difference, such as jogging or bicycle or just walking down the street with your friends. I think, yeah, that's all.
Alright, adik-adik, before we end, here's what we want you to remember. Your teenage years are a time to grow, to learn, and to chase your dreams. But sometimes, risky behaviors like smoking, having unprotected sex, bullying others, or even spending too much time online can slowly damage your health, your confidence, and your future. But here's the good news: you have the power to choose. Choose what's good for your body, choose to protect your heart and your future. And if you ever feel lost or unsure, you are not alone. There are teachers, counselors, and even abang kakak macam kami who are always ready to help. Choose wisely, take care of your body, your mind, and your dreams. That's all from us. Thank you for being such amazing listeners. Bye bye.